Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Y'all know who it is, man. It's the big homie, the OG, the 5-star general. Y'all ready? Let's go. Dr. Candice Matthews tried to dig a grave for Aubrey R. Taylor, but you forgot to dig a grave for you. And matter of fact, you should have dug a whole bunch of graves, because this gonna be good here, y'all. Say, push the share button and let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking time out to tune in. Because you know, without you guys, I would not have a show. And it's been like that for a long time. I want to thank you for real for taking the time to tune in. But I tell you this here, I don't catch feelings, I catch flights. You know, 2 days ago I was in Houston, and the next day I was in Minneapolis, and now I'm back in Houston. Tomorrow I'll be in Austin. I got work to do. Y'all be careful out here. This weather is crazy. You want to take your time when you're driving. You want to make sure that you're straight. But I think it's just time to get down to it, man. As y'all been seeing, there's been a firestorm. It's been a firestorm, and the good Dr. Candice Matthews is caught up in the middle of the firestorm. So I'm going to give you the backstory of what happened, and then get you up to speed, and then you tell me. I want you to, if you can, push the share button on the video. You don't want to miss nothing, I'm telling you. But you want to tune in and you don't want to miss anything. All right. Aubrey R. Taylor from Business Connections, he does a digital newspaper as well as a actual physical newspaper. People think he's just digital, but he's not. He does a real live newspaper, and it deals with politics. So Aubrey, I think it was last week, Aubrey wrote a story, and he connected the LGBTQ community to some prominent African-American politicians. That in itself, you know, was amazing when I read the story. And the one thing I want y'all to always remember, no matter if you don't like the way that he writes or if he makes a grammatical error, his facts are on point. And if they were not on point, why hasn't he been sued yet? His facts are on point. Okay, so he writes this story, and it's a very interesting story tying the LGBTQ community to some prominent African-American politicians. And people were making comments on the thread where the story was. Well, the good Dr. Candice Matthews made a comment. Aubrey responded. She made a comment that says, I don't like you anyway, so stop talking to me. So they were going back and forth. And this went on all day that day. And then all of a sudden, she started dog whistling to the LGBT community. Now, this is some stuff that I don't know if Aubrey knows or whoever knows, but I know the truth. That she made several phone calls to people that I know that called me that said, I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this. I don't know why she calling me. Several people. And she dog whistled the LGBT community. So a few of their prominent citizens decided that they would bash Aubrey on Facebook. And you know the customary thing, he's an undercover homosexual, which he's not. And he's homophobic and he doesn't like it, blah, blah, blah. And they said that we are going to make sure that he doesn't make any money off the Democratic Party. So some people in the LGBT community decided they would attack an African-American business owner and try to affect his livelihood. Now, once the dog whistles went out, it was on. The good doctor decides she'd take it a step further. She went and pulled an affidavit. And here's the problem with the affidavit she put up. She put up an affidavit on Aubrey about something from his past. Well, she didn't redact his ex-wife's name, who he has a great relationship with. She didn't redact his child's name. So you threw his family under the bus. Wow. So at that point, the gloves gonna come off. Aubrey gonna take the gloves off at that point. I see it's finna get serious now, because I know the ability of a writer. See, when you're a writer, your pen is more deadlier than a 9mm if you're good at what you do. So I already knew he was finna load the clip up, but I didn't know how he was gonna load the clip up. So I personally called Dr. Matthews with a good friend of ours on the phone. We both telling him, stand down on this. Leave us alone, man. You don't want to do this. My exact words, and I quote me. That boy shooting big bullets, man. Leave him alone. I say, if you do this, you're going to lose, and you're going to be dead on arrival. Because I knew what he was going to do. I just didn't know how he was going to do it. Because I've had to do it to some folks in the LGBT community that came after me. I was writing at the time for a newspaper, and I stung them. Ain't heard nothing from them in 3 years. That pen a monster. Well, anyway, Aubrey goes and I think wrote one of the best stories that I have ever seen. He was factual. It is what it is. And what it did, it created a situation where now it looks like, and there's still more information to come, that the good doctor, Candice Matthews, may not actually have a PhD. I tell you what, let's go over here and let's look at the story. All right, let's go over here. I'm going to put it all the way up and I'm going to go through it. This is the actual story that Aubrey wrote. He said, this woman right here is something serious. I don't know who in the hell she thinks she is, but she can't be running around talking about blowing up HISD schools with everybody in it. Hold on. What? Blowing up HISD schools with everybody in it. Y'all, come on, let's go back. Look, this woman and the rest of a crooked, corrupt fraction that recently took over the Harris County Democratic Party are completely out of pocket right now. Nope, I'm not talking about good Democrats, just the faction that's comprised of the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, Carol G. Robinson and Dr. Candice Matthews, who's the accountability chair for the state of Texas, and the LGBTQ faction being led by John F. Miller and the rest of their crew that has been relentlessly attacking me on Facebook. Listen up, I will not bend. I will not bow down. Neither will I cower in the face of your slanderous attacks upon me and my business. So understand this. I will remain steadfast in my convictions and opinions that biological males have absolutely no business whatsoever competing against women and girls in track and field events. That's what he believes. That's what he feels. Now, that being said, crime is at an all-time high in all cities across America, especially right here in Houston, Texas. And that woman, Dr. Candice Matthews, is one of the worst, in my opinion. Do you see the foot with the illegal drugs tucked between the toes? Let's go down here and find the picture of the good doctor that he's talking about with the drugs tucked between the toes. Hold on a second, man. I don't give a damn if this is yesterday, today, 20 years ago. Ma'am, is that your feet with prescription medication, the sweets rolled up, and you got the weed between your toes? Wow. Y'all seeing this, huh? Hold on. Let's go back. We're going to back up a little bit. Y'all bear with me. I'm getting used to this thing. All right. As for Carol G. Robinson and the entire coalition of Black Democrat goes, I'm not sure if they realize that they are playing with fire with this woman. Okay, so we gonna skip that. So he said, man, Dr. Candice Matthews is out of control. According to the police, she was responsible for drugs being planted on her ex-husband's vehicle at his job. Let's look at this because this gets very interesting. So where do I begin? Let me start with a question. How did this woman end up married 4 times before her 41st birthday? I don't know, but something ain't right about that. And I'm going to make this my business to find out. But the bigger question is Dr. Candice Matthews really a doctor like she claims on her Facebook page? She claims to have studied at Temple University. This Dr. Matthews woman claims to have studied at New Charter University. She claimed to have studied at Texas A&M University. And she claims to have gone to Sea King High School. However, one of my private investigators alerted me to a fact that under calls number 2010-060890 in Dr. Candice Matthews' contested custody access evaluation, Dr. Candice Matthews didn't just claim to have studied at the aforementioned universities I've mentioned. An official document, Dr. Candice Matthews claimed to hold a doctoral in educational leadership from the University of South Carolina. She said she obtained it in 2005. She also claims to hold a master's degree in education from Temple University that she claims that she obtained in 2001. Dr. Matthews claims to also hold a bachelor's degree in sociology from Temple University that she claims to obtain in 2000. Hold on, stop. Stop right there, man. So you go from a bachelor's to a master's in 1 year? We're talking about 1 calendar year. That shit don't sound right. But she didn't stop there. Dr. Matthews also claimed to be working on a master's in business administration through Texas A&M in the aforementioned document. So let's go down a little bit, y'all. Let's look at some documents. This is Dr. Candice Denise Matthews, PhD, Executive Director, CEO, LCPAA, Children of Diversity. I'm pretty sure that's the name of her company, and that's the address and the phone number. Prior to that, remember, she was married before that. So it was Candice Hinton, PhD, CEO, Executive Director, Veteran Memorial Suites. Aubrey says what you're looking at above is 2 different instances where Dr. Matthews, Candice Matthews, and Candice Hinton presented herself as a PhD for one reason or another. On top of the example, she did so with the Texas Health and Human Services Department, Child Placing Agency Administrators for Houston. And in the second, Dr. Matthews, when communicating with Stephen Gutierrez, ED, the school support officer with HISD, on a notice of trespassing and email communication. So, you know, as you go down the document, he shows you the marriages. None of that really matters. She's married now. Really good guy. Talked to him this morning. He has nothing to do with none of this. As you can see, you saw the photo with the weed and the toes. You know, okay, and that's ridiculous. Now, this is Aubrey's work on The Good Doctor. Let me look at y'all. You see that file? If you want to play with fire, you gonna get burned. This how the conversation went when we were on the phone. I told her, if you want to fight Aubrey, you fight him one-on-one. Don't dog whistle your friends and the LGBTQ community. They have nothing to do with it. Well, he said something about the LGBT community. I say, man, let them people fight their own battles. I say, but if you don't fight him one-on-one and you dog whistle your partners, then I'm going to get in it. Why would I get in it? Because one of those guys from that community drugged me into it. I didn't have anything to do with nothing because I know both of them. I'm not getting into it with this foolishness. You see, I'm trying to talk Aubrey down. I'm trying to talk her down. But while you dog whistling your partners and your LGBTQ friends, they drug me in it. So if y'all think y'all gonna jump in, that ain't gonna happen. So she agreed and I agreed. Well, Gary, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Nobody pulled you in. No, your friends pulled me in. So I'm telling you, if you try to jump my partner, then I'm gonna get up in it. But I want you to look at that file. You think he playing? Y'all just looking at what we putting up today. He ain't even touched that file yet. Okay, so let's go back to the actual shared video. Okay, so we want to talk about the PhDs and the degrees and all that stuff there. Let's talk about that first. The good doctor says through a statement that she released today, while relinquishing her position, she's going to step away from her position as accountability chair with the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats for 60 days. And the thing is, why would you have to step away from your position when all you got to do is present the degrees? If you got a bachelor's, where's the bachelor? You get a degree. Y'all remember when I graduated from Central Texas with my associate's degree and we did online, virtual graduation? You saw it yourself if you watched that night. I have the actual degree. So if you have a bachelor's, where is the degree? If you have a master's, where is the physical degree? And lastly, if you have a PhD, you can kill all this argument on that issue by just showing the PhD. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think you have a degree in nothing. I wouldn't resign my position if somebody told me, Monroe, you were never a licensed insurance agent. Let me pull it up for you. Let me pull it up for you. I don't feel you have a degree in anything. I mean, some of us got to fake it to make it, man. Some of us got to fake it to make it, man. I don't think she got a degree in anything. That's the easiest way. Now we're going to go to this next document. Let me get it up here for y'all. This is a drug detail report. The good doctor was going through some custody stuff with one of the ex-husbands, and the good doctor had to go take a drug test. Well, she took multiple drug tests. Multiple. This is why you don't throw stones at glass houses. She took multiple drug tests, at least 2. The ex-husband took multiple drug tests, at least 2. Here's the problem with the drug test. As you can see, it's been circled. So she's negative on amphetamine. She's negative on cocaine, metabolites. She's positive on marijuana and positive on marijuana metabolites. Negative on opiates. Negative on this other word. I can't pronounce that, y'all. I ain't gonna even try to make myself look bad. So basically, you flunked the drug test because of marijuana. Here's where the problem comes in. Let's read what Aubrey wrote. It's been a long time rumored that Dr. Candice Matthews uses much harder drugs than marijuana. However, according to the National Screening Center, Bruce Jeffries was interviewed on September 9, 2015 via telephone in regards to Dr. Candice Matthews' positive drug test that you could see above. That was from August 14, 2015. He reported that Dr. Matthews tested positive for marijuana outside of hair and marijuana metabolites inside the body. He stated that the amount was low. However, based on the allegations that Dr. Matthews had sent someone in her place to take the drug test, he requested the chain of custody forms to evaluate Dr. Matthews' signature on the failed drug test to the signature Dr. Candice Matthews provided on an earlier drug test. According to Bruce Jeffries with the National Screening Center, the signature on the failed drug test, where it was alleged Dr. Matthews sent someone to take the test for her, did not match with the hair drug test that was performed by Concentra on April 13, 2015. So his conclusion was that two different people had taken the drug test. So the question here is, what was Dr. Candice Matthews trying to hide? He compared the signatures. Two different people took the drug test. Now, I know I've seen other documents, and the ex-husband did the same thing. So they was doing the same thing. So you got caught with a fake drug test that somebody else took. I told y'all the war zone gonna be off the chain. Let's go back to the article, man. Let's go to the next document. Now, this is what stirred it up in the beginning. All right, y'all ready? This is what stirred it up in the beginning. That Dr. Matthews put out an affidavit on Aubrey from, I think it was a protective order. Don't throw stones at glass houses. Now, I want you to understand something. This is an African-American woman that gets out there and she's in front of the camera, and a lot of days she does a great job. And she gets out there and she battles for women that have gone through things and different things like that. But this is going to be amazing. That's all I can tell y'all. So let's get it up on the screen. I'm going to put it up as big as I can put it. And I'm going to go over here. Let's read this. Before me on the undersigned notary public on this day personally appeared, who being by me duly sworn on oath deposed as, my name is Beverly Guillory. I'm bringing up this application on behalf of myself. The respondent, Candice Hinton, y'all remember that was another name that she had prior to being married, was the ex-wife of my fiance. The respondent currently lives in a separate residence from me. I'm requesting protection for my home address, and it says our address. I'm applying for a protection order for the following reasons. I need y'all to listen. On or about February 3rd, 2015, the respondent called me about 3 times at my job. The respondent is Dr. Candice Matthews. She called Beverly at her job. I worked at Harris County Independent School District. She meant to say the Houston Independent School District. I picked up her calls because I was at work as a receptionist. Dr. Matthews first called around 8:50 a.m. The respondent threatened to kill me, whoever was in the building. Hold on, man. Hold on. You threatened to kill her and whoever was in the building? That was a school. Hold on, let's get to it, baby. Let's get to it. All right. At around 10:02 a.m., Dr. Matthews called again. She asked for me. The respondent stated, I'm on my way to the school to blow that bitch up. The respondent hung up before I can respond. My supervisor told me to leave the school for my safety. I felt scared and worried because I knew the respondent was capable of harming me. The respondent is unpredictable because she has a gun. The respondent also does drugs and drinks alcohol on a regular basis. I reported the incident to the police immediately after I left school. One of my coworkers, Miss Iris, told me that Dr. Matthews called my job again and was asking for me. On or about February 2nd, 2015, the respondent called me at my job around 8:41 a.m. The respondent told me she was coming to my job to whoop my ass. I did not say anything because I was in shock. The respondent then hung up. I reported the incident to the police right away at around 1 a.m. Dr. Matthews I saw Dr. Matthews in my apartment complex. She was by the fence right by our apartment. I got scared. I notified security of the complex. I also notified the sheriff's department. On February 1st, 2015, Dr. Matthews called my job at 12:21 p.m. Dr. Matthews asked to speak to Beverly Inicio. Nobody knew me by that name but the respondent and my fiance, who was her ex-husband. When I asked who was calling, the respondent hung up. At around 12:47, the respondent called again and said, "I got you, bitch." The respondent then hung up the phone. On December 2014, my fiance and I dropped off his child at Dr. Matthews' house. The respondent came towards my car. She started screaming profanities at my fiance. My fiance rolled the window down on my side and told the respondent he was not going to argue with her. The respondent became upset. She reached for me and scratched me in the face. We immediately drove off to calm the situation down. Wow. Wow. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Was the dick that good? Let me tell you something, Shaquilla Rambis. I discuss current events. I discuss whether you my friend or whether you my foe. If it comes across, I'm gonna talk about it. So I'm reading right now, and I want to answer your questions, but it is what it is. The threats are ridiculous. How do you, as a person, even fathom somebody saying they gonna go blow a school up? A school behind the dick. For real. Let's keep reading because it get better. It get better. I told y'all that boy shooting M16s. Now, let's go to the next thing. And here's the thing, and I want y'all to remember this. Here's the thing. You started with an affidavit, right? So all he doing to you is what you did to him. But you had too many skeletons in your closet. So let's go and look at the next thing. Aubrey R. Taylor, according to the affidavit you see above, Dr. Candice Matthews is not only a serial liar, menace, stalker, intimidator, bully, and possibly a black widow. She's also a modern day terrorist, a modern day terrorist. How can I say this? Well, on February 3rd, 2015, she called her ex-husband's fiance job at Houston Independent School District. We just went over that. So you can see what he means by her being a terrorist. So now we're going to move on to the next thing. These are the logs, the incident logs from the actual school. So all of this is public record. All of y'all can get this if you know where to look. It's public record. So nothing's been fabricated. Nothing has been, been tampered with. This is all public record. Look at the number of incidents coming from this lady who stands before us and represents our community on a daily basis. Look at these incidents. This is a whole nother log. This is a whole nother log. Okay. That is the actual incident, the police report, they give you the report number. Harassment 2215. All right. This is from the Harris County Sheriff's Department when the lady called and reported her at the apartment complex. Stalker. This is actually the temporary protective restraining order cause and show that Beverly did on Candice. So if you can see that, that's the actual protective order. That's the actual protective order. Okay, so let's keep going. It gets better, y'all. It gets better. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This document here is a follow-up report from the VA police. I'm letting you look at the document. So let's read what Aubrey wrote on this particular document here. Okay. I'm struggling to understand why Dr. Candice Matthews is not still locked up in prison somewhere for what she did to her ex-husband, James Inicio. What did she do? Well, this evil, vile, vindictive woman that they call Dr. Candice Matthews either planted or had someone plant drugs on her ex-husband's car at his job at the Veterans Administration, according to the official police report. And then this Dr. Candice Matthews woman called in an anonymous tip to have her ex-husband arrested according to court documents. What the fuck? She tried to set him up and then made an anonymous call to tell the people where the dope was. This in the court documents. Hold on, man. Let's go back and read, man. Ooh, man, this is better than reality TV, man. According to the police, Dr. Candice Matthews either planted or had drugs planted on her ex-husband's vehicle at his job. All right. Why wasn't this woman arrested for this incident? Look, according to the Veterans Affairs Police Department record from April 2015, Dr. Candice Matthews was the culprit in a serious crime. What did she do? I'm about to tell you if you hold your horses. I pulled this information from some official documents regarding the incident that occurred in April 2015. So it was reported by an anonymous female that she had reason to believe there was an employee at the Veterans Affairs that was dealing drugs from his vehicle. The reporter, who ended up being Dr. Candice Matthews, gave the specific information in regards to where they would find the drugs, the license plate number of the vehicle, and where the alleged drug dealer resided. The information provided matched that of the father and ex-husband, James Inicio, Dr. Candice Matthews' ex-husband. When they searched his vehicle, they found drugs in a magnetic box, in magnetic boxes attached to the father's vehicle by the muffler and the windshield wiper. No drugs or drug traces were found in the father's vehicle, according to the police report. And as a side note, the Harris County District Attorney declined to press criminal charges against James Inicio once they traced the anonymous phone call that was placed to them about the illegal drugs back to Dr. Candice Matthews. But don't take my word for it. The officer on the scene noted that the anonymous Dr. Candice Matthews made him believe that she did not personally know James Inicio, which was a lie. She, Dr. Candice Matthews, was in a custody battle with her ex-husband. Candice, is this true? You a rat. And all of y'all out there that's supporting her and wanting to ride for her right now, she a rat. You tried to set this dude up. And the only thing saved him is they traced the anonymous call back to Dr. Candice Matthews. You know how many dudes in jail because somebody did them like that? You know how many people done lost their freedom? And this happened coming from a black woman that stands out in our community every day and say she stands with black women. And this is what you did to this man. You tried to set this man up. You a rat. You a rat. What kind of shit is that? You a rat. Oh, man, it get better. Y'all, hold on. I know this roller coaster shaking right now, but hold on. Aubrey calls her a menace to society. This Dr. Candice Matthews woman is a menace to society. And according to her failed drug test, she could also be a drug addict as well. And according to an affidavit I will feature below, this Dr. Matthews woman is not only a serial liar, menace, stalker, intimidator, bully, and possibly back widow, she's a modern day terrorist. How can I say this? Well, on February 3rd, 2015, she called her ex-husband's fiance on her job. Okay, he repeated that story. He did that by mistake. Okay, so let's go down. Let's keep going. So let's go to this next section. Carol G. Robinson and his Texas coalition of Black Democrats on some serious BS right now. I'm not going to talk about Carol right now. However, that woman in the cowboy hat is a known drug abuser. Let's see who he's talking about. Oh, he's talking about Dr. Matthew. Oh, that's who he's talking about. Liar and could be. We're launching a full investigation into her. The dude next to her is Terrence Skanks. I'm also going to leave him alone right now. And the dude in the back is Otis, the new Harris County Democratic Party chair. I haven't determined how much he has to do with the attacks that have been lodged against me by the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats and the LGBTQ wing of the Harris County Democratic Party. So I am not going to deal with him for now. However, see that woman in that dress on the end? Well, that's Constance Jones, and she was with the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, and she's also the owner and CEO of CRJ Healthcare crediting and consulting. And as it stands right now, I will also let her make it. So he doesn't want to deal with anybody that doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back here because it's still getting good. These people, some of these people. This is Lalu Davis, Representative Al Green, Danetta Davis, and now ACC trustee Carol Robinson in this photo. That's from, I think that was a while back. He says, you see the dude on the far left in the photo above, that was Lalu Davis, a very close friend of Carol Robinson back when Carol was on the board of trustees at HCC. HCC ended up having to hire a law firm to investigate accusations that Carol tried to steal part of $1 million construction contract to his close friend Lalu, who owned a very small, pretty much unknown company called Five Woods as a subcontractor to handle public outreach. Carol's attempt to steal $1.4 million in contracts to Lalu failed, and Carol Robinson abruptly stepped down from his position on the board of trustees a short time later. So I'm going to stop right there for now. However, you read HCC probe, did trustees still work to a friend? So I think right there we ain't gonna touch the other stuff in this thing. So let's have a conversation. I read you almost everything in that report. You have somebody that decided they would attack the editorial guy, which was the wrong move, and we tried to tell her that she shouldn't do that. I personally tried to tell her that she didn't have to do that. No, Errol says, and I want to read some of y'all comments. I'm extremely saddened. This fight could have been private and she could have been pressed to resign quietly. Whether she would resign or not, we were trying to keep it quiet. We were trying to stop them from fighting. But when she made it personal, when she put that man's family in the middle of all this stuff, the gloves came off. And according to Aubrey, if you offered him $50,000 right now to stop, he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. He's going to expose us. So this is how the game is played. The Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, along with other prominent elected officials, such as your county commissioner, Rodney Ellis. They need some crash dummies to get out here and do the things they do, like attack Harold Dutton and different things like that. They ain't gonna get their hands dirty. So they found them a bona fide sucker, a crash dummy named Dr. Candice Matthews, to get out here and do that dirty work for them. So I want to ask, if I'm wrong about that, then why wouldn't the president of the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, the state chapter, not check his accountability chair based on what has come out? See, anybody else, it could be Aubrey, it could be me, if they put something out, we suffer the consequences. We got to resign our positions. But Carol, why didn't you do what you needed to do? You know why you didn't do what you needed to do? Because you have no backbone. You have no backbone, brother. And the thing is, the jig is up. The jig is up. Now, we had a conversation last night with somebody. And remember, since they came to get me, I put myself in it. I gave you 48 hours for her to do what she needed to do. And guess what? Because they know. Hold on, y'all. Because they know that I am not going to play. So, this is what came out today. I can't show it to you. It's on the site, the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, Harris County, Dr. Candice Matthews. Dear Chairman Robinson, President Skanks, as you are aware, there has been a number of false allegations reported by Aubrey Taylor. The allegations are false, and I intend on vigorously defending my reputation. As I previously informed the both of you, I've spoken with my attorney, and he will be responding to the allegations as legally appropriate. While my attorney and I are dealing with this situation, I will be taking a 60-day leave of absence from my position with the state and Harris County chapter with the coalition. Even though I'm taking this leave, I want to report that earlier today, I was in Beaumont, Texas, supporting the Beaumont chapter NAACP in regards to police brutality case, a police brutality case with Beaumont PD, which is always happening out there. We still have a lot of work to do across the state of Texas to secure justice for Black Texans, and look forward to returning to my position as soon as possible. And I have resolved these false allegations. How false are the damn allegations when all you got to do is show the goddamn degrees? How false are the allegations when all you got to do is show the degrees? You tell me. Why are you taking a 60-day leave of absence? Why didn't the coalition either remove you from your position or force you to resign? You know why? Because all y'all on some slick shit. Let me tell you how they work, man. I gave y'all 48 hours last night. And in less than 48 hours, you stepped out of that position. You know why? Because Aubrey is one entity and I'm a different one. I'm a different one. So in less than 48 hours, I got what I wanted. I don't really see you coming back to represent our community with all of this stuff that you got in your background. See, you tried to throw him out there on his past, but you forgot you had a past, and a past that's so heinous. No elected official in Harris County should align themselves with you from this day forward. And if you choose to align yourself with somebody like this who threatened to blow up a school building with children in it, I will separate you. You notice today, Chairman Robinson, I asked some questions. I want answers to my questions so that y'all will know I am a member of the Texas Coalition of black Democrats, good standing, paid my dues, and they're going to have a meeting about all of this. And I asked to speak at the meeting, and the local chairperson, Terrence Skanks, told them that I shouldn't be allowed to. Negro, please. Negro, please. So since you said that, 5 Star ain't Aubrey, I went and started digging. So whatever was asked of you today, you can't fix it. And now that you can't fix it, you're going to have some problems, some state and federal problems. When I ask for what I ask for, you give me what I want. I'm a sexy big black man. You give me what I want, young man. You bow down to greatness and you give me what I want. When you ain't in my line of fire, you give me what I want so I can get my job done. So guess what happens now? We know where the dirt is. And Penelope Pitstop says she's going to lose those $1 million contracts with the Texas Department of Regulatory Services. No doubt. Remember, if you've been watching, I said I live by the she-devil laws, Carole. I'm going to take your car. I'm going to take your money. All that. See, when you want to play dirty, then we can just play fair. Now, there's nothing that was presented today that was fabricated. There's nothing that was presented today that was fictitious. Nothing. So, Dr. Matthews, what I'm demanding right now, since you're the accountability chair, I'm the hood accountability chair. We need you to produce that PhD. We need you to produce that PhD. And if you don't produce that PhD by Monday morning, we ain't talking about it no more. You finna have some produce that PhD and not the honorary one. When did you live in Philadelphia to go to Temple University? When did you go to Texas A&M? Errol's right. Truth is the defense for slander and libel. Now, if you're upset because I'm reporting on this, sue me. I get discovery in a courtroom. You, along with them high-powered wannabe people, are going to be made to look just like a fool. Just like you've been fooling us all these years. You a woman that stands up against violence against women. But didn't you perpetuate violence against a woman? You threatened to blow up a school. You tried to set up your ex-husband with a drug case. We don't even want to talk about the one that died in Harris County. Oh, that's a whole nother story. We don't want to talk about no kids with no black eyes. That's a whole nother story. Man, that man got enough to write on you for the next 2 years. And it's all true. Where's your college transcript? Just like Bruce Lee Wynn said. And another thing, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. There's no way in hell that you could have went from a bachelor's to a doctorate in a 3-year period. Baby, you busted. Why don't you stand in front of some cameras now and hold yourself accountable? Don't go around these people. Y'all out here thinking that we playing. I run with the integrity accountability team. Aubrey, 5 Star, Chuck Mauler, and our person that go get the information besides Chuck. Remember, I told you on the phone, this ain't the fight you wanted. So now we have to deal with the fact, are black people tearing black people down? Fuck no, you tore yourself down. You tore yourself down because you thought nobody would ever figure out your past. And your past is horrible. You really need to get yourself in order before you get out there and try to represent us in any capacity. Now, Nim asked, why didn't she come on the show? She is usually a straight shooter. Well, Nim, what I always do if there's a problem, I reach out to that person because I want to hear their side, them come on and prove me wrong or prove Aubrey wrong. I hadn't done anything. Remember, I said we talked to each other. And then mysteriously yesterday, I was blocked on Facebook and she blocked my phone number. But I hadn't done anything. I hadn't said anything publicly. I hadn't commented on anything. So there was not an opportunity to get her on here. She didn't want to be on here. And she can stand in front of a camera. She can drag everybody else. But now it's time for you to be held accountable. And you suckers out there that's riding with her, be careful what you wish for too. Because we can get a file on your ass too. So you want to get on Facebook, you want to go on your radio shows, do what you do. Just be careful. Don't throw no rocks. See, because we load up clips over here, man. And we got clips just sitting around waiting. From this day forward, I will not address you as Dr. Candice Matthews. If you can't produce the documentation that proves that you have a PhD, you will be Candice Matthews to me from this day forward. And everything that you've done under the name of Dr. Candice Matthews, we're going to help you undo it. Remember, I told you, don't let your people try to jump him. But you felt like you could. You wanted to dog whistle him. And any one of y'all over there in that community that want this smoke with 5-star, bring it. Bring it. What I recommend you do is go sit your ass in a corner and don't play with me. See, because Aubrey shoot little bullets, I shoot big ones. And when I come to get it all. I go there and get that and come back with that. You people out there that's looking for grass dummies to do your dirty work for you, we're going to separate all y'all. Every last one of y'all, we're going to separate you. And it is what it is. Ain't no dissertation, Penelope. Go on and do what you do. Ain't no dissertation. Ain't no bachelor's. Ain't no master's. Ain't no PhD. So here's my thing. Some of y'all got to fake it to make it. A whole bunch of you Negroes in power in Harris County finna smell my cologne, man. I told y'all, and I'm getting you ready for November. You better stay the fuck out of my race. Because if you get in my race, any way, shape, form, or fashion, you're going to jail. Don't worry about them voter integrity laws. I got some shit on all of y'all. Don't even try it. Because it ain't what you think when you come this way. I'm proud of Aubrey Taylor. I'm proud to call him my friend. Because he tells the truth. And if he messes up on something, he comes back and he apologizes, he cleans it up. Y'all out there that's riding with these motherfucking people that's just screwing our community, man. We can't have it no more. I told y'all, I've been doing this 9 years, baby. The war zone is what it is. This is what we do. This is what we supposed to been doing. It ain't never personal Candice Matthews, is business. The business of taking care of our community. The business of making sure that we have the right representation. And right now, sweetheart, you are not the right representation for our community. And if any one of y'all in a position of power got a problem with that, you know my number. You ain't got the nuts to call. That go from the top of the food chain all the way to the bottom. Now, Mr. Skanks, you were asked for some information today. Don't make me bust your ass on the show, man. Give that lady what she needs. Because if you don't, somebody gonna knock on your door. And normally when they knock on your door, they got a 95% conviction rate. Don't play with me, boy. At all. You try to take my membership back, I'm gonna sue the fuck out you. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the fact that y'all have done more than enough damage to our communities. And no more will it be that. Let me just tell you like this here. Because I got to go. I got to go. And I want you to understand something. Five-star in your business now. I'm in your business. When I ask for something, give it to me. And if you don't, just like Dr. Matthews, the integrity team, Mauler, Five-Star, Aubrey Taylor, and our other partner, we're going to knock a patch of meat out your ass too. I can promise you that. Ain't no more games going to be played around here, bro. None. Say, man, it's a reason I'm the best in the business. Say, man, it's the War Zone every night, 7 o'clock. Facebook and YouTube. The Good Doctor. You got till Monday morning to produce that PhD. And if you don't, we gonna shut your shit down. Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, I might get you some Pampers. Because I'm gonna make y'all shit on y'all self, dog. Welcome to my world. Until Monday, baby. Five-Star, holla at you.